Boris Johnson wanted Britain's super-rich to pay higher levels of council tax, unearthed reports reveal. Coronavirus has brought large parts of the economy to a standstill, and the government has had to spend billions to support workers, businesses and the NHS. On July 9, Chancellor of the Exchequer Rishi Sunak delivered an economic update on the next stage of the government's plans to rebuild the economy. He announced a package worth up to £30 billion, which included plans to protect jobs, help younger workers and encourage spending. It is not clear how big the final bill will be until after the crisis is over. However, Downing Street will certainly have to borrow unprecedented amounts of money. According to the Office for Budget Responsibility, OBR, for the current financial year, April 2020 to April 2021, it could be anywhere from £263 billion to £391 billion. Before the crisis, the government was expecting to borrow about £55 billion for the whole financial year, but it borrowed £128 billion in the first 3 months alone. According to The Telegraph, Treasury officials are pushing for the largest tax rises in a generation to plug the gaping holes in the public finances, in a move being resisted by Downing Street. The proposed quintuple whammy of tax increases would enable the Exchequer to raise at least £20 billion a year, and some could be introduced as early as in the budget. While no decision has been made, multiple sources have told the publication that proposals under active consideration include aligning capital gains tax (CGT) with income tax, slashing pension tax relief, raising fuel and other duties, the introduction of an online sales tax and a simplification of the inheritance tax system. Moreover, according to unearthed reports, Prime Minister Boris Johnson might consider raising council tax for the super-rich. In March, Mr. Johnson shelved plans to impose a «mansion tax» on owners of expensive homes, following a major backlash among Conservative MPs and grassroots. The Prime Minister is understood to have cooled on the idea of including a new high-value property tax, having previously discussed the proposals with Sajid Javid while he was still Chancellor. The Sunday Telegraph disclosed the Treasury also wanted to announce a nationwide revaluation of homes, which would have left millions of families with higher council tax bills. However, neither policy featured in the budget delivered by Rishi Sunak, Mr. Javid's successor. Mr. Johnson reportedly backed away from the proposal for a recurring wealth tax, after the plan sparked fury among senior Tories. It was not the first time the Prime Minister had considered the idea, though. According to a throwback report by The Telegraph, in 2014, the former Mayor of London said he was open to proposals for new council bans to ensure the richest property owners paid more tax. He singled out Russian oligarchs, and hit out at the low levels of council tax they paid for their stuccoed schloss in upmarket parts of London. New council tax bans had previously been suggested by the Liberal Democrats, but Conservatives repeatedly rejected the calls. Mr. Johnson said he was, by no means an advocate, for Lib Dem proposals for a mansion tax on Britain's most expensive properties. However, his comments appeared to represent a U-turn for the former mayor, who had repeatedly rejected calls from other parties to increase taxes for the rich. Speaking to MPs on the Communities and Local Government Committee on the subject of devolving more powers to London, Mr. Johnson said, "If you compare what a Russian oligarch is paying on his stuccoed schloss in Kensington in annual council tax compared to what such a gentleman might be asked to pay in Paris or New York or anywhere else, it is quite stunning."